Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. We'd like to introduce our guest this morning as we talk about the rising cost of food in the country. Food costs in Nigeria are a big topic these days because everyone is feeling the pinch. And put up a post on my Facebook page. That's Kofi Bartels yesterday. Just random musing. Trying to just get some information from those of you who are on social media, trying to find out the cost of something which is very simple. The cost of a bucket rather. A custom bucket size of yellow gari, which is my favorite. Put it out there, and I was asking people from different parts of the country. I mean, if you follow my Facebook page, just comment, and it was quite interesting. The different, responses I got. And yesterday, one of our callers did point out that he bought gari at 2,000 naira per custard bucket, and it was surprising to me. And we found out that actually it's gone up. Now, last week or a week before, maybe it's 2 weeks ago, I tried to find out from one of the members of my household, how much they were buying gari, just to try and find increase or change in price, week by week change in price. Our guest this morning to help us through just so we have two guests. Joining us via Zoom or video link live from his home this morning so graciously. We have the director of the Center for Economic Policy Analysis and Research. It's director of the Center for Economic Policies Analysis and Research, CEPA, at the University of Lagos. Professor Ndubuisi Nwokoma, good morning to you, sir. You're a big fish, and we are grateful that you joined us this morning. Thank you for your time, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you. And joining us live right now as we speak, thanks to the good work of Zainab Yakin, whom some of you already know, is Mrs. Victoria Olijo. She's a wholesaler and retailer of gari and all types of foodstuff at Sabo Ultramodern Market. Madam Victoria, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, sir.
All right. Thanks for staying on the line. I know it's a busy time for you. Prof, please, permit us to talk to Madam Victoria before I come to you. So at least it'll be a basis for a launch
Yes,
pad.
go ahead.
Thank you very much. Madam Victoria, tell us exactly, is it true that the price of a custard bucket of yellow gari is now 2,000 naira and above?
Of course, it has reached up to that amount. Because the thing itself baffles me because the amount we normally sell that gari before, normal price, which people are even complaining of that before, it was 1,500 naira. And as of that time, some people are already selling 2,000 naira per bucket. But because we do buy in wholesale price, and we are selling in large quantity, and we are selling it at the rate of 1,005 then. But it's gotten a time when the thing was around 28,000 per bag. From that 28,000, it got into 36,000. Not even up to 1 week. It got to the point of 40,000 naira per bag. Ijebu gari. So people were very, very, very angry for that price. So this gari that is a cheaper food, let's say a poor man food, it has gotten to this amount of money. So as of current price now that we are selling 2,000 naira at my own shop, but some are selling 2,003, 2,004, depending on how much you bought it from quantity. As in when you buy in quantity, they might give you a discount. So it's not everybody that is selling it 2,000 naira the way I'm personally is selling it. But if you buy it in quantity from the market, that might have given you a discount, which is not even much like that. That is why if you buy in low quantity, like 3 bags, you will not be able to sell it like that. Because the increment of transport may even collect your profit. So some are even selling 2,500 sets, 2,005 as of current price now. But I am selling 2,000 naira in the shop because I buy in quantity. That's why I'm considering customer of selling it in that price, at that price.
Okay. So are you? You said a bag was 28,000 naira when?
28,000 naira from last month. But gradually, the thing was adding money. It's like every day you will be hearing this price has added money. No, people that are selling to us, they normally give us updates on how the price is so that we know how to sell. Because you might have said it anyhow, and when you go back to market, you may be adding 10,000 naira extra, which will be very surprised to you because you wasn't aware of the changes of price. So they normally give us updates on the changes of price. So the current price now is 40,000 naira as of the last week because I haven't bought yet.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Victoria. I'll come to you in a jiffy. I want to go to Professor. Prof, what's your take on what Mrs. Victoria has said so far? I mean, this is practical that you guys are used to in your research analysis and all that. Prof, please, over to you. What's your take on what she said?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, viewers. I think what she said makes a lot of sense because it's what is happening in the marketplace. I'm sure every person can identify with that. The volatility in the prices of basic commodities, particularly food items, is actually alarming because if you take a look at the level of the minimum wage, and you wonder how the ordinary man is able to survive in this time. So the rapid increases in the price of food items, particularly, or other commodities generally, it's and I think if you want to go into the constitutive factors, it all started primarily. Well, it has been there before, but since this new government came into office, and the two major policy pronouncements, I think those ones actually are driving all this because when the government came into office in May 29th of last year, and the president talked about first subsidies gone. That statement actually is boomerang through the system. It elaborated through the system. Now, actually, it affected all prices. It started with the price of PMS, and it increased the price, the cost of transportation, and that had a very, very damaging effect. Then the other major issue was harmonizing the foreign exchange markets. And you can see how that was able to prices. The price of the dollar in the official market was from about 461 naira to $1. Now we're talking about 900, 1,000 naira in the official market. And the parallel market, we can see how the price went from about 750 to about 1,400. So these things affected other prices. Every price, whether it is linked to the foreign exchange rate or not, every.
Hello, Prof. Are you there, please? Okay, Prof's network, maybe a call came in through his phone. It's hanging out. We'll put him back when he comes on. Madam Victoria, you said the cost of the Gary is you buy in bags, and you can wholesale, you can retail. Is affected by the cost in transportation. Okay. Yeah, Madam Victoria, please hold on. We have Prof back. Prof, sorry about that. We lost you for a second there.
Yes.
Yeah, please go on, Prof.
Okay. So the point I'm making is that what Madam is saying is very much, I agree entirely with that because of the effect of these two major policies pronounced by the president. Harmonizing the foreign exchange markets and the rapid increase in the rates for foreign exchange. Because when you have instability in that market, every other price, because there's a pass-through effect between the exchange rate and inflation rate. It's very strong because the country is largely import dependent.
Yeah.
So definitely when there's a major change in the exchange rate, other prices, even though it's not linked to the exchange rate, even Gary, because people who sell gari have to buy other things.
Well, I was going to ask you,
Uh-huh.
Prof, that Mrs. Victoria Ojilo does not use US dollar to buy gari from a supplier.
Yes.
So what does exchange rate have to do with it? So you just said it's linked. How exactly is it linked?
Yes, because the gari seller has to also buy bread, or has to buy maybe some buy frozen chicken, has to buy maybe things that are linked to the exchange rate, because most of the chicken, the chicken that we buy in Nigeria, a number of them are imported. They have to buy rice. The bulk of the rice within this country, even though there's effort by government to produce locally, the rice are imported from Thailand and other countries. So other basic things that we buy are linked to the are imported. So if the person who is selling gari has to sell at the old price of the cost of production, then how will he be able to buy rice? He or she buy rice and buy other things, or buy a cell phone, or buy SIM card. These other things are linked. So there's a linkage between all prices in the economy. So in as much as gari is not directly linked to exchange rate, it is linked indirectly through other commodities. So that is why we have this increase in every good, and it's actually damaging. And I think it's a job for government to take a look at the policy. Already we've had this damage already. There's a damage because to go back to reverse the policy is difficult. I don't know whether there was a kind of a planning before those pronouncements by Mr. President. Say, what are the consequences if we announce this?
Yeah.
Because that's what we call announcement.
Prof,
economic policy.
Prof,
announcement.
I doubt there was, because, sorry to interject, sir. I doubt the word was because at that time his think tank, had not, and cabinet had not been fully formed. He had just a few aides with him, and he really barely had time to even sit down to strategically plan himself when he made the announcement. I don't know, but Prof, you're saying that the people who are engaged in buying and selling, in trading, have to pay other bills. They have to pay for their electricity, they have to pay for their petrol, they have to pay for transportation, they have to pay for rice, for chicken, other things that are bought using US dollars. Sir, this morning in the papers, we hear the official exchange market that the dollar naira rate is now above 1,300 naira, from 890 something naira on 91 naira on Monday. So that's another one to make us feel a bit bad. I'll come back to you, sir. Quickly back to Mrs. Victoria Ojilo. Mrs. Victoria Ojilo, apart from the tell us about the cost of transportation and how it's affecting your business. Before the president said subsidy is gone, and now, madam.
Before the president, as in before the elected government, I know that the normal price of gari was that of it. That's 1,005. Even people were complaining then. But we are still managing it. But when it got up to that 2,000 naira per pin, even when you told somebody that this is the amount, even the way the person, you will look at the person, you will not know that this person is not really happy. But the current price now, it was baffles people a lot, because that was the cheapest food. Somebody, you can buy 100 naira gari, you drink with sugar and you'll be okay. But now, that 100 naira gari will not be able to satisfy you this time around.
But Madam, it's Victoria, gari used to cost 500 naira per bucket in 2021. I think that was when we had COVID.
Yes.
What happened? There was still subsidy then. What happened? Why did it move from 500 naira to 1.5?
Because there is some question I normally ask myself as somebody that is selling gari, even the yellow one. Because this gari of 18 is not something that we are importing. We are not importing gari. We are the one producing it to our own use. But why is it that this thing has gotten up to increasement every day? You hear another news, every day you hear another news, and we are not importing this gari. Why is it increasing? Because that is the question I always ask myself, because we are the one producing it. And up to today, I haven't gotten
Yeah,
it.
okay, Victoria, hold on. That's why Prof is here. I just wanted a real life, like your own take. Prof, I asked you this question last night, and I want you to please help us understand. Apart from the dynamics, you talked about the dollar exchange rate. You talked about the removal of subsidy. Sir, before, in the city I was in Nigeria, before they declared a lockdown, Gary was 500 naira. When I got to the
Yes.
market, it had gone up to 700 naira. I went to
Yeah.
the market in town, Creek Road Market, with my household to see if we could get it cheaper. By the time we went there, that's the main market. The thing had gone up higher than the one in my estate, and it has never
Yeah.
come down. What is going on apart from these dynamics? Is there something else that maybe the manufacturers, producers of Gary are not telling us? Or maybe even Madam Victoria is
Yeah.
not telling us?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she also knows that other prices apart from Gary are also going up. So it's not just one particular commodity. If we produce something locally, we don't consume that thing alone. Even the Gary seller, I think I had made the point, the Gary seller has to buy other things. And when the Gary seller, the guy who is producing, has to still maintain his own price and then start buying other things, which prices are going up. He's buying, he or she is buying bread, he or she is having to transport the Gary from where it was produced to the market, and every other thing goes up. The price of moving the Gary from the farm to the market goes up. The price of buying bread, it goes up. The price of buying sugar goes up. Of course, there is a linkage. Because we make the Gary local, it does not mean that price will remain static. So it has a linkage with other prices, because there's the people that supply and demand for every commodity. So if the production of Gary is still based on local inputs, the seller of Gary has to buy other commodities. I think I've made that point several. So there's no way it will have any impact on the price
but
of Gary.
Pre-COVID, there was nothing changed. Okay, sir, I'm told we have to take an advert. I'll come back. I want you to explain this to us as the expert. We'll take a very short 5-minute break, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Lagos, it's a new year and you made it, yes. But you know how they say that the month of January is so long, like 2 months in one. And usually you will just say, oh, we move. But wait, hold on, move where? Is it with Sakpa on the move? Lagos, I'm sure you remember that after dirty December comes clear-eye January. So please, where do you want to move to without money? How do you want to do it? Well, you don't need to bother your head because I've come with your solution. Yes, oneplay.ng. Lagos, you heard me right. Oneplay.ng. Well, this time around, oneplay.ng has decided to up the stakes. And guess what? You're still playing with 500 naira. The amount on ground now is 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. You heard me right. All you have to do to partake in this is just go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. Yes, that's the website, Lagos. www.oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira, and your name could be the name of the next winner here on Nigeria Info. And if you don't have a smartphone, calm down, not to worry. All you have to do is dial *347 *880 *3#. And if you know that you can't follow the code and you don't like the instructions that are coming after the code, well, you can avoid distress. All you have to do is go to the website at www.oneplay.ng. There's money to be won on Morning Crossfire. There's also money to be won on WhatsApp Lagos. There's money to be won on Sunny Side, I know. And there's also extra money to be won on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? What is your issue there? Don't complain about Sapa. The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember, dial *347 *880 *3#, *347 *880 *3#, or you just go to the website at www.oneplay.ng and win yourself some of that money. Don't let this opportunity pass you by, Lagos. Like I say, I could have won a lot, but I'm giving this to you. So please, make good use of it and thank me later.
I want a university that gives me equal chances at being a relevant part of the future of Africa. And I know just the school to make this dream a reality. That's why I'm working hard to make it into the 2024-2025 session at Wigwe University. My name is Adaolisa Chindu.
Wigwe University, where the fearless make history. Visit www.wigweuniversity.edu.ng for more information now.
Terra Seasoning Cube turns your meals into a masterpiece. nutritious and tasty. Serve it up with style. A cooking delight for that great party jollof rice. Big Bull rice, yeah.
Big Bull long grain parboiled rice contains protein and fiber, a source of vitamin B, and is great for all rice dishes. Big Bull rice, tasty rice, nourished you.
Buy the special Ovaltine pack with 4 sachets and 1 free for every school day. That's not all. Ovaltine is enriched with calcium, vitamin B12, and malt to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Did you know that at Wigwe University, highly knowledgeable and experienced professors are waiting to take you through the course of your choice in any of the faculties: engineering, arts, sciences and computing, management and social sciences? Did you also know that some of the next generation of fearless African leaders are all going there?
Don't miss the opportunity to make history. Wigwe University is now open for admission into the 2024-2025 session. Visit www.wigweuniversity.edu.ng for more information now.
Trader, are you ready for the flight? Yeah. Maximize your gains day or night. The platform, HFM is the name. Trading with us is a brand new game. Come on, feel alone. Execution slow. Switch to HFM. Watch your success grow. Higher leverage, tighter spreads and swap free. Got your back in this financial fight. Trade forex, commodities, indices, shares and more. Just come and see HFM online trading. Withdrawals, deposit done in a dash. Our execution too fast. HFM stands apart from the rest. HFM stands apart from the rest.
Pico, HFM finito, HFM is ito. HFM national platform, online trading, forex trading, any trading. HFM no delay.
Join HFM today. Visit www.hfm.com or download the HFM app on Google Play or App Store. HFM, online trading at its finest.
Are you tired of all the noise and speculation in the news? On Hard Fact, we cut through the clutter and get straight to the truth.
If only Fubra has been aware of the boo-boo trap, he would have understood in democracy there are bases for everybody to do accordingly.
Join us as we bring you the stories that matter. We go beyond the headlines to uncover the real facts and the core of every story.
We are doing this, we are doing that. At the end of the day, nothing good will come out. What did they promise us? They will be in charge of security and life and whatever. But what are we getting in return?
With in-depth analysis and experts interviews, Hard Facts delivers the truth that others dare not to reveal. Tune into Hard Facts every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. and arm yourself with the knowledge you need to navigate today's complex world. Hard Facts, where the truth always prevails.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. You define better odd. I be you one play Correscos. Over 1.5, I be you one bet. Say, both seem no go score at all. Yeah, we get better payout. No worry, we there for you. Our odd, Chaburata, in all definition. Oh, lo, we there for you. Oh, we there for you. You see, for Bet Baba, we win money. Bet Baba, cash out today easy. Or Bet Baba, we get online games for you. To play, oh, God, all I want. Yeah, we get better bonus. Money, me no dollar. Yeah, now Bet Baba, they are so. Cash out, no sharp. Welcome to Bet Baba.
Register now on betbaba.ng. Not for people under 18.
On Borderlines, we go beyond boundaries.
You know, let's be honest here. This is an organization that sent nearly 3,000 terrorists into Israel, and on the most part, they were proud. They don't care if they die. All they care about is killing Israelis and killing Jews.
Why is it that the Palestinians cannot go by dialoguing with these people through other international bodies?
Straight talk, no holds barred.
That's what Hamas did, and Hamas say they didn't do it, but Hamas lied.
You contradict what America's report, you contradict Israel's report.
The Liberation Organization died. The children, they will rise up tomorrow and fight for liberty.
Biggest conversations from around the world. Borderlines with Iriti Bakari Yusuf. Fridays at 4 p.m. Let's talk.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
from the heart of Victoria Island. You're listening to your number one station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. Guest this morning, Professor Ndubuisi Nwokoma is a professor of economics and a director at the Center for Economic Policy Analysis and Research at the University of Lagos, Akoka. He joins us via video link this morning, and you can watch us as we're streaming live on our Facebook page, Nigeria Info FM, or Nigeria Info 99.3 on Facebook, and also on YouTube section Nigeria Info FM. Professor Nwokoma is well published and belongs to many professional associations, including the American Economic Association, African Finance and Economics Association, African Econometric Society, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria, and he's a life member as well as a member of a council of the Nigerian Economic Society. We're glad to have him this morning. Also, Mrs. Victoria Olijo, she's a wholesaler and retailer of Gary and all types of foodstuff at Sabot Modern Market, Yaba. For what she's done for a time, I'm sure will help direct customers to her this morning. And I will personally go buy from her as well. Thanks to both of them for joining us this morning. For those of you who want to be a part of the conversation, we're looking at the rising cost of food items, rising food costs in Nigeria. Please call 0700-993-993. But Prof, before we went to the break, I was asking about, if there's any, maybe at all, if there's any chance of profiteering by if not the market, traders, the suppliers, the manufacturers of these staples. And I use COVID as an example where, during the COVID period, we had, Gary at 500 naira per custard bucket, and then there was COVID. And then things went up a bit, and when COVID ended, everything normalized. The price never went down. So, Prof, what do you say to that, sir? Okay, so we cannot hear. I don't know if you're muted. Are you muted, sir? Hello, Prof. Can you hear me, please? Oh, there's something wrong with your... Oh, man. With your audio. Okay, whilst we are waiting for that, we'll take a call before I go back to Madam Victoria. 99.3, good morning. Yes, welcome. Who do we have on the line, please?
Mrs. Oboli.
Okay, Mr. Oboli, go on, your contribution.
Mr. Oboli, Mr. Kofi, do you know that yesterday when you asked this question on X, I sent you a response.
Yes, I saw it.
The woman says she sells in Sabo Yaba, right?
Yes.
I went to Sabo Market in Ikorodu. Mr. Kofi, oh my goodness. People could not, you saying what you want to buy, and you cannot even buy it. The naira in your hand is useless to buy it. It was so disheartening. Some people that were even trying to access just a paint, this thing you call is we call it that bucket, that yellow bucket. Mm-hmm. They could not buy it because of the price. Are we importing Gary? I ask myself, Mr. Kofi, the cost of the living is killing the living. If an average Nigerian cannot afford Gary, simple Gary, is it right that they will buy? Is it beans that they will buy?
Okay.
And in fact, I don't know. This government I know it has started from the previous government, but this government is even worsening issues by announcing subsidy is gone.
Thank you.
Putting stringent measures.
Thank you very much.
The worsening effect of what it will cause, the ripple effect.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time.
God.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Professor Nwokoma, do have you back, please? Can you? I don't know if we can hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank God.
Can you hear me?
Thank God. Yes, sir. We can hear you. Prof, please go on with your answer.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you take a look at the price of any commodity in basic economics, it is every person is secondary or even primary who can actually agree with. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. All right. So supply and demand are the forces that determine price for whether Gary or any commodity. What we have to do is to interrogate the supply and the demand forces. That is actually what we can do. Gary, for example, the price of Gary is going up. Is it caused by supply or caused by demand? Let's take a look at the supply side. Supply that we produce locally. We have the issue of insecurity. It affects supply. We have, because they actually go to work, go to that. So that is one area about supply. How about the price of are there any inputs that are involved in Gary production, which actually have gone up? Are there inputs, things that will actually affect Gary production? We look at that. Is there any government policy affecting the supply? We have to look at that. Any policy of government affecting the price of other things that will affect the demand for Gary or the supply of Gary? On the demand side, has income increased significantly? That we can say that there's a demand pull effect, which means it is caused by increased demand for Gary. So we look at all that. And like I've said, we don't produce Gary locally, but Gary actually, the price of Gary is also linked with other prices. There's a linkage in the economy. Gary is not a standalone commodity. It's not standalone. Even though the effect may not be significant, there is a linkage because people make demand for different commodities. There's a basket of commodities that determines inflation rate. It's a basket, various commodities, various sectors.
All right,
so when we talk about the price of Gary, we should not look at the Gary alone in isolation. In isolation.
Yeah.
I don't know whether.
So having said this, general price levels have been going up. But this weekly increase in price, I give money to someone in the house to go help us get something, maybe a shopper, and the person says, I ask, okay, how much do you, because I'm very hands-on, I say, how much do you need? Break it down for me. Give me how much you need for bread, how much you need for, and then I can give the whole money. I don't give you money and you go. You have to tell me what you're using for everything, and then I can calculate it and give it to you. And then I'll be told, I don't know, because if I go to tomorrow, it can increase. Yesterday it was X amount. If I go to today, it might be a Y amount. What's with this constant weekly, daily increase, unpredictability of the price of items in the market, sir?
Yes, I think I made the point about announcement effect. When you are in business and you are selling something, you don't price your commodity based on historical costs. You price based on replacement costs.
Okay.
If I have a bag of Gary, I bought the Gary at 5,000 per bag, for example.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what cost I'm going to replace that bag if I finish selling the one I have, because of the effect of other prices. So if I bought the Gary 5,000 per bag today and I'm selling, I'm not sure. I know that if I want to go back to replace my bag of Gary to sell tomorrow, I may not buy it at 5,000. So definitely people don't price based on historical costs.
Okay.
They price based on replacement costs, and that also has an effect. So, but if there's stability in all prices, which is also driven by these forces, like I say, insecurity, exchange rate is an issue, which is not directly linked to Gary, but it's linked to other commodities that also have a link with Gary by issue of demand and supply forces in the economy. So there is a question mark on the replacement cost of my stock if I'm going to be in business. I cannot sell something at the price at which I bought it, maybe with some little margin. When I'm going to replace that bag of Gary tomorrow, instead of buying it at 5,000, I find that it is now 7,000. So definitely every seller and buyer in the market are also cautious. There are many forces, but the critical thing is to stabilize the macroeconomy. When you stabilize, and people can now have an idea of what is the replacement cost of what I'm buying, then that will affect what price I will give out to the consumer.
All right.
It's purely macroeconomic.
Okay.
Purely security issues.
We'll come to the policy steps to be taken moving forward to ensure there's a macroeconomic stability. But Madam Victoria, thanks for staying with us this long. When you go to your suppliers, do you have your suppliers? I'm sure you have them from outside Lagos State. Do you normally get from south, southeast, north, central, middle belt, or where?
Outside Lagos.
Okay, outside Lagos. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they tell you any issues they are facing? Maybe shortage, maybe the product is not there. Have you called any of suppliers before they tell you they don't have Gary to give you?
But then complain of some people do export Gary to other countries. That is number one. That is demand. The demand is higher from other countries, which they are exporting the Gary to other countries. And secondly, the transportation. So for them to bring the Gary into Lagos, the cost of transportation is high for them. That is what they are complaining again. And thirdly, fuel. They will complain about fuel because the charges the driver will charge them on what they are good, the goods they are bringing for them. Then when they calculate everything, like which is the drivers, they will calculate that this is the amount of fuel they are going to buy in this car that will transport them to Lagos, and that will make the transportation fare to affect the buyer, which is bringing it to the Lagos.
Okay, Madam Victor, which countries are these your suppliers? Are they exporting to?
I haven't exported any Gary to other countries, but the person that is supplying the Gary to me is telling me that some countries are demanding for, especially this white Gary of Ijebu.
Okay.
They demanded for it. And you know that this exporting of Gary is not something that you export as small bags. They normally do it in form of 10 kg or like 25 kg, which they will load it in a trailer. You know, it's not trailer, it's truck. They will load it in a way that it should be filled up, which means that they are demanding much from them.
All right.
And which will affect us that are selling, which are the people that are producing it.
Okay. Do you sense sometimes when you go, she'll say she doesn't have enough, or take this one that she has and just manage it? Or he has, whoever is supplying it. Do you sense there's some sort of scarcity sometimes? Maybe the Gary is not you don't get exactly the quantity you want. You have to take what is available.
No.
Okay.
But that is this question is what I normally ask them because of how they increase the amount of what we are buying. But it doesn't mean that the amount I requested, they normally give me the quantity that I need.
All right. Thank
but
you.
Just that the price increasement is what we are
facing. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Stay with me, please. Prof, based on what she said, would you advocate for a temporary ban on Gary exports from Nigeria? Would you say if we have the market flooded with Gary, since there seem to be, I don't know, you talk about demand and supply, we're thinking about what you said, supply and demand, macroeconomic, stability and all that. If we have a lot of Gary in our market, flooding rural and urban areas, will we see a resultant effect on the price, a downward effect? And would you advocate for a moratorium, a temporary ban on export of Gary from Nigeria?
Yeah, okay, thank you. My question is, when did this export start? Was it not there before? I'm not sure the export started just this few months. So definitely these are macro, this market dynamics actually have been there all along. People they bring goods from the across the West Coast, and people also take goods. So there's a lot of trade going on between Nigeria and our neighboring countries, both in terms of imports, also in terms of exports. So I don't think that's a new phenomenon. It's not a new development that goods are moving across the border. I think the critical issue is to interrogate, and there's no point to be using a fiscal measures, trying to put a ban, trying to protect the area. I don't think that may be necessary because we have been producing Gary from within our economy and it has been sufficient. So we should look at internal forces. What are the issues that actually are driving these pricing and price increases? Like I said earlier, the policy framework, I'm not sure there was a total, maybe because of maybe the announcement effect, a total assessment of the implications of the major policy pronouncements on the system. It's not only Gary, it affected many other commodities. So if we now want to take a look at what can be done to remedy, one is stabilize the foreign exchange market. If we stabilize that market, if we stabilize the market, it will affect other prices. If people can now be sure that definitely this is what the exchange rate looks like, it has no link with Gary, it affects other macroeconomic indicators, which also have an indirect link to other things. Secondly, address the issue of security. is very, very important. Where the farmers can actually go to the farm and actually plant, because we may have this problem worsen in the next planting season. Because if there's issue of security, kidnappings going on, these are issues we should look at. I think the problem and the solutions are actually internal. Address the security issue. That you can just walk to your farm, stay there till evening, and come back home with peace of mind. Address the issue of the macro stability, the inflation. Try to arrest it. Look at the cost push factors that are driving inflation. Once we address that, the price of Gary will stabilize, and people can now be sure that what the price will look like, and that will not make people to begin to jack up prices, because out of fear that they will lose out if they sell below a particular price. So I think there are many issues that have to be looked at together. The problem can be solved.
All right.
It's just for us to take a look at these critical macroeconomic issues that are then stabilize the economy. It will help us a lot.
All right, Prof. Thank you very much. Just want to put. Oh my. Okay, we have a call coming through. Let's see if this will go through. It has. Good morning.
Yeah, King of Radio, good morning.
Welcome, sir. Please, very briefly and quickly.
Yeah, just last month I traveled to the village. That's what we call Aputu. That Aputu, you have 4 pints of Gary maize. How much did I pay? 5,000 naira. 4 pints. Just 2-3 weeks ago. And my mother-in-law gave me Gary, my auntie gave me. I come to Lagos, I distribute Gary among all my tenants. Just on Sunday to go and buy a pin, they say 2,100. Beans in call, you say 4,005. I didn't bother to ask of rice. And somebody will come and tell me that this we're giving kudos to this government.
All right, thank you.
What the prof is saying.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Madam Victoria, have you noticed that maybe some of your customers, when they come, they can't afford? They'll ask you how much is the Gary. You tell them, and they can't afford it. Then they won't buy. Have you noticed anything like that?
But when you buy market, depending on how much you bought it from the market. When you buy market, you calculate it and know how much you get from the bag of the Gary. Meaning that before we put a price on the market, we have to calculate, because we know how many quantity it is inside the bag.
All right.
So when customers come like this, maybe what they normally do, when I told them it's 2,000, about that is the price I'm selling currently now. I will tell them that it's 2,000 naira. They'll be feeling that it's too much, so they'll now go forward. When they now go forward, maybe they have searched, make inquiry, so they'll now see that the difference is much. Some even came back and tell me that some of them, which are truthful, not everybody, they told me that this person is selling 2.5,
all right,
selling 2.7.
Okay.
They will now come back.
Thank you. All right, Madam Victoria.
My own price is lower.
Madam Victoria, hold the thought. I just want to give Prof 1 minute, sir, because of time. This price has to go down. If it doesn't go down, what else can the government do? Because we can't continue like this. You know the resultant effect. So, sir, can this price of staple food items in the market go down? What else can government do instead of waiting for the naira dollar rate to stabilize, which I don't think is going to stabilize to soon? Prof, sir.
Yes, one, I think is a very simple thing: enhance supply, and that is by addressing what are the issues affecting supply of Gary in the market. One is address the issue of security. Yeah. They need to address that. It's a major issue in the country. Farming but the level of production has gone down because of security. So that is one area that government can look at. And then secondly, address the macroeconomy. Once there's stability in prices of other prices, it will have some indirect effect on the price of Gary and other basic staples. So security, address the issue of the macro. I mean, the extreme volatility. I think everything, it can come down. Stabilize the operating environment for Gary production, and then everything will.
All right, sir. All right, Professor Ndubuisi Nwokoma.
Normalize.
Thank you. You've said the price can come down. We hope it will. Professor of Economics and Director, Center for Economic Policy Analysis and Research, University of Lagos, Akoka. Thank you very much, Madam Olijo, Victoria Olijo, wholesaler at Sabo Market. Thank you for your time.
Lagos, it's a new year and you made it. Yes, but you know how they say that the month of January is so long, like 2 months in one, and usually you will just say, oh, we move. But wait, hold on.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's